Picture the Athenian agora in the 5th century BC. The sun beats down on dusty stones. The air smells of figs, olive oil, roasted lamb, and the sharp tang of unwashed bodies pressed together in debate. Amid the stalls, a barefoot man in a simple tunic, belly rounded by years yet eyes sharp as a hawk's, stops a young merchant whose face is still red from a customer's insult. The customer has stormed off, but the words still hang in the air like smoke. "Why do you let those words wound you?" the barefoot man asks. The merchant snaps, "Because he called me a crook in front of everyone." The older man smiles, slow and dangerous. "And what if I told you that man just handed you a cup of poison, and you, and only you, decided to drink it?" That man is Socrate Mind. A negative thought is never the event itself. It is the meaning we choose to give the event. The insult was external. The decision to turn "he called me a crook" into "therefore I am a crook" was entirely internal. Between the shout and the suffering lies a hidden space. Socrate Mind names it the chamber of judgment. That chamber is the most powerful room in the human mind. Yet almost no one ever notices its door is open. Words, glances, failures, likes, silences, everything pours in unchecked and instantly becomes law. "He didn't text back" becomes "I'm unlovable." "My boss frowned" becomes "I'm about to be fired." "I gained 3 pounds" becomes "I'm disgusting." The chamber never sleeps, never questions, never asks for evidence. It simply stamps the incoming material truth and files it away forever. Most people live with that door bolted wide open their entire lives. They believe they are prisoners of circumstance, when in reality they are prisoners of an unguarded room. Socrate Mind teaches that at least 95% of our negative thoughts are not original discoveries. They are inherited programming. They were installed long before we had the power to say no. Anxious parents whispering, "Don't trust strangers." "Money is hard to get. Better safe than sorry." Teachers sigh, "You're not a math person. You're too loud. Sit still." Friends laughing when we dance badly at 14. Society rewarding the cautious employee who never rocks the boat and quietly punishing the one who tries something new and falls on their face. Each sentence, repeated hundreds or thousands of times, carves a groove in the neural pathways. Over decades, those grooves become canyons. The thoughts feel like home because they are the oldest furniture in our minds. We call them realistic. Socrate Mind calls them familiar demons. We feed these demons daily because they serve a purpose. They protect us from the terror of the unknown. The demon whispers, "Don't ask for promotion, you might be rejected." And we obey because rejection would hurt. The demon whispers, "Don't speak up in a meeting, they'll think you're stupid." And we stay silent because embarrassment feels like death. Better be right about our smallness than wrong about our greatness. The demon keeps us safe, small, and miserable. The revolution begins the moment we notice the chamber exists. Socrate Mind's first and greatest gift is to hand you the key to that door. He does not ask you to pretend the world is made of rainbows. He asks you to install a guard at the entrance and force every visitor to answer 3 questions before being granted citizenship in your mind. Is this thought objectively true? Not does it feel true? Not has it been true in the past? Is it true right now beyond all doubt? Does carrying this thought move me closer to the person I most want to become? Can I know with absolute certainty that this thought is the only possible interpretation, or am I choosing one story out of many? Apply these questions honestly, and something astonishing happens. Most negative thoughts collapse on contact. I'm going to fail at this new project. Has the failure already happened? No. Then it is not yet true. Does believing I will fail help me prepare and perform better? Obviously not. Could another interpretation exist? I might succeed. I might learn. Either way I grow. Nobody really likes me. Did my best friend just send a meme at 2 a.m. because she was thinking of me? Yes. Evidence contradicted. Does believing this help me show up warmly to others? No. It makes me withdrawn and cold. Is there another story? Some people like me deeply. Some are indifferent. A few dislike me. And that's normal for every human alive. I'm not smart enough to start a business. Did I teach myself to code/cook/play guitar in past? Yes. Evidence of learning capacity exists. Does this belief help me take the first step? No. Another story. I'm smart enough to learn whatever this business requires, one skill at a time. the way I've learned everything else. The emotional brain screams, but it feels true. Of course it does. Feeling is not evidence. Feeling is weather. Truth is geology. This is not positive thinking. This is accurate thinking. Socrate Mind is merciless on this point. Denying reality is delusion. Refusing to drink other people's poison is sanity. The moment you close the chamber door and station those 3 questions as sentinels, you reclaim sovereignty over your own mind. The insults still come, the failures still happen, the sideways glances still sting, but they bounce off the walls instead of moving in permanently. You are no longer a public trash can for the world garbage. You are a fortress with standards, and once the poison stops flowing in, something miraculous begins. The mind, finally free of constant contamination, starts to heal itself. Socrate Mind does not wage war on negative thoughts with the soft weapons of ready-made positive affirmations, the kind you see plastered on Instagram with a sunset background. He executes them in open court, the same way the historical Socrates once cornered the pompous sophists in the agora and dismantled their certainties with nothing but questions. His method is brutal, fast, merciless, and, most importantly, final. He calls it the sword of the question, a blade forged 2,500 years ago that still cuts cleanly through the thickest self-deception today. Step 1. Name the demon with lethal precision. Never say, I'm feeling down, or things aren't going well. That vagueness is a demon's shield. Force it into the open by giving it an exact name. I believe I am an imposter who will be exposed at work. I believe I am fundamentally unlovable. I believe any risk I take will end in humiliating failure. The moment you articulate the thought with that degree of clarity, it becomes mortal. Vague shadows can live forever. Named enemies can be killed. Step 2. The 4-stroke cross-examination. Take a sheet of paper. Yes, actual paper. The physical act of writing slows the emotional brain and forces the rational prefrontal cortex to front line, and answer these 4 questions in order. Do not skip a single one. This is not a conversation with yourself. It is a trial, and the thought is in the dock. Concrete evidence. What is the undeniable, objective proof that this thought is true right now? Rule. Feelings are not evidence. It feels true is inadmissible. Only facts that would hold up in court count. Example, I believe I'm about to be fired. Concrete evidence. My boss has not said a word about performance. No written warning. No missed deadlines. 0. Most people discover at this stage that the evidence locker is empty. Counter evidence. What proof, even tiny, shows this thought might be false or exaggerated? Write down anything. A compliment from last month, a project delivered on time, a friend who texted miss you. These are not positive thinking. They are facts the demon deliberately ignored. Example, counter evidence, my last review was exceeds expectations. I was chosen to present to the board. My team asked me to lead the next initiative. Suddenly, the thought looks like it has been cherry-picking reality, that worst-case scenario, played all the way out. Assume for a moment the thought is 100% true. Then what? Keep asking. And then what? Until you reach the end of the movie. Example, I get fired. And then, I'm embarrassed for 3 months. I update my resume. I get interviews. I've been headhunted before. I land somewhere else, probably with better pay. 99 times out of 100, people discover that even the absolute worst case is survivable, often boring, and almost never fatal. The terror evaporates when it is forced to walk to its logical conclusion, new interpretation. Now craft an alternative story that fits all the same facts, but serves you instead of sabotages you. Example, old thought, they're going to find out I'm a fraud. New interpretation, I'm in a stretch role that is forcing me to grow faster than ever. Feeling like an imposter is a tax on ambition. Every high performer I admire paid it. 15 minutes of honest answers to these 4 questions is usually enough to watch the thought bleed out on the page. It does not gently fade. It dies, publicly executed by its own lack of evidence, a real case I witnessed. A 34-year-old executive was paralyzed by the belief, if I speak in a board meeting, they'll realize I don't belong here. Concrete evidence, none. Counter evidence, invited to the board meeting in the first place. Chosen over senior colleagues. praised by the CEO last quarter. Worst case, I say something stupid, feel embarrassed for 48 hours. Nobody dies, life continues. New interpretation. Feeling nervous is proof I care. Speaking up is how I earn my seat, not how I lose it. He spoke up the next day, led a 40-minute discussion, and received a follow-up email from the chairman saying exactly the kind of thinking we need. The demon was dead before lunch. Step 3. Active replacement. The golden rule. Nature abhors a vacuum, and so does the mind. Kill a negative thought and leave the space empty. It will resurrect stronger within hours. Socrate Mind therefore enforces an iron law. For every demon slain, you must immediately install a power question that occupies the exact same neural territory. Examples of replacement power questions. Instead of "I'm going to fail," what is the next small action I can take with excellence right now? Instead of "they think I'm stupid," how can I add value to this conversation in the next 60 seconds? Instead of "I'm too old/young/broke/unqualified," who do I need to become to make this inevitable? These are not affirmations. They are not "I am amazing" plastered over a wound. They are questions, Socratic to the core, designed to pull your focus from rumination to creation, from victimhood to agency. The brain cannot obsess and solve at the same time. The power question forces it to choose solving DO this once, and you feel relief. Do this 100 times, and you forge a new mind. The old grooves fill with scar tissue. New pathways of agency, curiosity, and courage become the default. What once took 15 minutes of written cross-examination eventually happens in 5 seconds in your head. The sword becomes an instinct. Socrate Mind's promise is not that life will stop throwing poison cups your way. His promise is that you will develop such a refined palate that you will detect the poison instantly, set the cup down untouched, and walk away smiling, free, dangerous, and entirely your own master. That is not positive thinking. That is accurate, sovereign thinking. And once you wield it, no thought, no person, and no circumstance can ever enslave you again. Killing one negative thought is easy, almost trivial once you have the sword. Preventing their return is the work of a lifetime, and it demands the discipline of a Spartan warrior. Socrate Mind never sugarcoats this truth. The mind is a garden. Leave it unattended for a single day, and the weeds reclaim everything. Plant nothing deliberate, and the old poison sprout again, thicker and more tangled than before. Freedom is not won once. It is defended every morning and every night with rituals so simple they seem childish, until you realize that empires of inner peace have been built on less. The morning ritual. 5 sacred minutes. Before your eyes even adjust to daylight, before the phone seduces you with its blue glow and its endless parade of other people's lives, you perform the shortest, most powerful ceremony in human history. 3 specific gratitudes, never generic. Not "I'm grateful for my health," but "I woke up without back pain today. I drank clean water from a tap that works, and my sister sent me a photo of my nephew laughing." Specificity is the antidote to the brain's habit of taking everything for granted. Then, one power question for the day, spoken aloud if possible. How will I make someone smile today? Or, what stronger version of myself will I meet tonight when I look in the mirror? That single question becomes a compass. The day can throw chaos at you, but the compass never wavers. The evening scan. 3 minutes that compound into a new mind. Every night, before sleep poisons a garden again with tomorrow's worries, you sit with a notebook and ask 3 questions that feel like confession and victory at the same time. Which negative thought did I let slip past the guard today? At exactly what moment could I have drawn the sword 5 seconds sooner? What victory, however microscopic, did I win over my mind today? The first question is humility. The second is strategy. The third is celebration. Miss this ritual for 3 days, and you will feel the weeds creeping back. Do it for 90 days, and you will not recognize the person staring back from the mirror. Calmer, sharper, almost amused by problems that once crushed you. Voluntary exposure. The warrior's forge. Socrate Mind is merciless on avoidance. Whatever you run from owns you. The fear of rejection. The fear of looking foolish. The fear of failure. These are not enemies to be managed. They are training partners to be invited into the ring. You do not wait for life to force the confrontation. You schedule it yourself in controlled doses. Afraid of rejection? Commit to one small, low-stakes no every week. Ask for a discount, compliment a stranger. Pitch an idea you half expect to be shot down. Afraid of public failure? Launch a tiny project deliberately designed to flop. A blog that gets 12 views, a YouTube video with cringe editing, a side hustle that loses $50. Each deliberate failure is a vaccination. The demon shrieks, realizes it cannot kill you, and loses its teeth. The iron circle, no more than 3. Solitude breeds self-deception. You need mirrors that do not flatter. Socrate Mind allows a maximum of 3 people in what he calls the iron circle. Individuals who have earned the right to say, without drama and without apology, "You just drank the poison again. Put the cup down." These are not cheerleaders. They are fellow warriors who have walked through the same fire. Once a week you meet, in person or on a call, and you each answer the evening scan questions out loud. Shame dies in the open air. Blind spots get illuminated. The circle is small because trust at this depth is rare, and because 4 voices quickly become noise. The 5-second rule, the final weapon. The moment a negative thought begins to form, when you feel that familiar twist in the stomach, you have exactly 5 seconds of sovereignty left. After that, the emotional brain hijacks the steering wheel and drives you straight into rumination. The technique is devastatingly simple. Count backward, out loud if necessary, 5-4-3-2-1. And the moment you hit 1, you fire the fatal question. Is this true? Not does it feel true? Not has it been true before? Just is this objectively true right now? 9 times out of 10, the thought collapses mid-sentence, like a vampire hit by sunlight. With practice, the countdown becomes internal, almost instantaneous. You walk through life with a hair-trigger sword. Mastery is not the absence of negative thoughts. It is the speed with which you kill them. A black belt mind does not prevent the demon from knocking. It opens the door, bows politely, and decapitates it before it crosses the threshold. Socrate Mind always closes with the same quiet declaration, spoken as if it were the most obvious fact in the world. You do not control what happens to you. The gods, fate, other people, chance, they all have their say. But you, and you alone, control what you decide to think about it. Master that single decision, and you will be the freest human being the earth has ever carried. The negative thought is not your enemy. It is a messenger. When the message is false, kill the messenger without anger and without delay. Do this 10,000 times, and something quietly miraculous happens. The garden stops needing constant weeding. The soil itself changes. New seeds take root so deeply that weeds find no purchase. And when you become a gardener instead of a garden, when your mind is no longer a battlefield but fortress, then and only then can you say with perfect tranquility, "Nothing and no one can ever destroy me." Because the last enemy to fall is not the thought. It is the part of you that once believed the thought could.